Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I found this Monster High tier list that has every character on it. Okay. So unlike my previous tier list where we ranked all of the dolls, today we're going to be ranking the characters. Do I know why the main artworks for the main ghouls are their reboot artworks? No, but they did that for some reason. I kind of wanted to forget this version of Claudine existed. I don't even know who this is. So let's just get right into it, starting with our first character, Abby. Oh my god, they started us with Abby? That's so easy. You guys know I love Abby. Abby's one of my favorite Monster High characters. I'd put her in third place, like, overall. I'm probably gonna sort my top 3, so Abby's not gonna stay in that exact spot, just so you guys know. Next up is Amaneda, and she wasn't that memorable, so I'm gonna put her in B tier. Person who wanted to fight me in the comments with swords when I put Amaneda in B tier, it's happening again. I will be waiting for you. So, please comment. I know who you are. I remember you. I remember you, Amaneda fan. But yeah, Amaneda just, I don't know. Her whole personality just seemed to be being a bitch in the cartoons, and apparently she stinks. Apparently she smells horrible, because the corpse flower stinks. So, she's a stinky bitch. So, I don't like her. So, B tier, yeah. Next up is Andy. This guy was also kind of mid. He was cool in the movie he was in, but we never saw him again. So, it's another B tier for me. I don't like that this is sorted alphabetically. I really don't like that it's sorted alphabetically, but whatever. Or at least it seems to be for the most part, because these characters' names all started with the letter A. Next up is Astronova. Another B tier. I don't know. I just didn't really care for her. She was there, I guess. She existed. And she was supposed to be the bridge between Monster High and Ever After High, even though that should have been Cupid's job, because, you know, Cupid literally attended Monster High and then transferred to Ever After High. You'd think that would be her job, but no. So, it was supposed to be Astronova's thing for some reason, so. But we never got to see that, so Astronova got 5 minutes of screen time, and I don't really care about her. Her song was mid. Next up is Avia, and why do they just all keep ending up here. Avia was another character who hardly got any screen time, and thus I never formed an attachment to her. I wasn't big on her design. Why are these bitches all purple? Seriously, all the characters I just slapped into B tier are purple. Okay. Yeah, but she wasn't that bad, I guess. Next up is Batsy. I'm gonna put her into A tier just for some variety. She was cool. I liked the episodes she was in, even if she hardly got any screen time. But I remember liking her. I'd probably have to rewatch the episodes she was in, but I recall enjoying her. So, she gets to be there. Next up is Bonita, and another A tier. Bonita was really sweet. I liked her in the movie. Freaky Fusion was fun. I don't remember who Bonita was in charge of trying to get along with each other. I haven't rewatched Freaky Fusion in a while, but I've always liked Bonita. It might be my bias, though. Next up is this dude, and I'm gonna add a new tier, actually. We're gonna add a new one, add a row below. We're gonna edit this row, we're gonna make it blue. And, this row is gonna be called, select that, Who Are You? Because I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm sure there's somebody who's like a walking Monster High encyclopedia, which I am that when it comes to the dolls. I can identify a doll based on their makeup and hair colors alone. But I don't know who this guy is. And immediately after, another guy who I don't know who you are. Who the hell are you? I have no idea. Next up is Casta, and another B tier. I liked her doll. Casta was an interesting character, but I feel like she didn't get much of a personality. When I was younger, I used to write fan fiction, and I put Casta in one of them. And, yeah, that's about it. Casta was in a fan fiction I wrote. My friend praised it. She thought it was really cool. But, like, overall, I don't know much about Casta. Don't remember much about her. Next up is Katrine, and what is it with me putting the purple characters in this tier? But Katrine was cool, I guess. She didn't say or do anything throughout the entirety of Scaris, so that was fun. But then she started talking in the webisodes. We got to see her there, and she didn't get much personality. She's just an artist, and that was it. Katrine's cool, though. I don't dislike her or anything. She was just kind of boring. Next up is Caddy, a character who got a lot of personality, and I'm going to stick her into A tier. I really liked Caddy. Boo York was a fun movie for her, and I've always liked that her story is that she was this super famous pop star, but she stopped doing that because she wanted to live a normal life. Like, obviously that's not a story that a whole lot of people can relate to, because the average Monster High fan is not a celebrity, but I don't know, I just think that's an interesting concept to play with in fiction, so I like it. Plus, her relationship with Seth was really cute. They meshed well together. And overall, Caddy's just a good character. I liked her a lot. Next up is Claude. Can't lie to myself. He's great. I like him. Put him in A tier. It looks like he's flirting with Caddy. They're looking at each other. Claude is cool. He's probably one of my favorites of the boy characters from Monster High. I like him. I like him a lot. In Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, even though I'm not a big fan of Claude and Draculaura as a couple, they are cute. They have a lot of cute moments. Claude's a really sweet guy. He's just really sweet. I'd like some elaboration on the fact that he and Cleo dated, like before Deuce and Cleo became a thing, because that's interesting. It was only mentioned in the diaries. I don't know if they retconned it for the rest of the show, because I feel like it never gets brought up anywhere outside of the diaries. Similar to the fact that Deuce being half human is never brought up anywhere outside of the diaries. So, lots of stuff I would have liked to see some elaboration on. Next up is Claudia. Okay, our first non-purple in B tier. She's alright. Once again, I don't... Damn it. Am I getting hiccups? That's annoying. Once again, I don't really care for her. She just kind of exists, actually. Maybe I should put her a tier lower, actually. I'm not saying she's a bad character. My rankings pretty much are, like, S tier is, like, God tier favorite character. A tier is, like, really good, really solid. S tier would be, like, above this one. So basically, I like them more than A tier. B tier is like, I think you're mid. You didn't get much personality. And then D tier is just like, I don't know. You existed, but you didn't do much. So, no, just leave her there. It's like the same thing. I don't know. Claudia just wasn't around enough for me to have an opinion on her. She's Claudine's older sister, but we never see that dynamic. She's everybody's older sister. She's older than all of the Wolf siblings. She's the eldest. She's the only one who's not in school anymore. So it's like, what do you do? What are you like? We know you're a writer and you chew on your book when you're nervous, but like, I don't know. I just feel like she needs more elaboration. I don't know who the fuck this is. Next up is Deuce, another A tier. Deuce was honestly probably the best boy they could have introduced us to first, giving us a doll in the main line as well. Monster High boys have always been really well dressed too. I feel like the weakest doll Deuce got was Scaris, but that's just because of how basic it was. Monster High boys had drip. I'm not gonna deny it. Except for Nathan. What the hell was he wearing? But yeah, I really like Deuce, honestly. He was a good character. Especially seeing more of him in Scaris, you can see that he's insecure, kind of. It's more that he's insecure because of the pressure that, I guess, Cleo's parents, well, father and older sister kind of put on him in a way, Like, Nephra's just trying to push them to break up the whole movie, and then when they do, Cleo still likes him, he still likes her, so they get back together, blah blah blah. I described that horribly. I don't even think that's what actually happened in the movie. What am I talking about? Deuce just feels a lot of pressure to be a good boyfriend, basically, and none of it is from Cleo. They're just a really good couple in general, and even though most of his personality does kind of come from being Cleo's boyfriend, the stuff that he has outside of that is good. Like his friendships with the other guys, his... I don't know. I like him, though. Next up is Elizabeth, and controversial opinion. I don't like her that much. She's pretty, yes. But what does she do? She's an actress. She went to London once. She's in the Ghouls Getaway line, which doesn't even have a story, so we don't even know what Ghouls Getaway means. I don't know. There was an episode where she, like, Claude, like, dressed in drag and dressed like her because Elizabeth was getting swarmed by fans, I guess. I don't fucking know. She's mid. Next up is Elle, and this is our first D tier. I didn't really like any of the new characters that were introduced for Boo York. Elle had, like, 0 screen time, and she was pretty much only there to glitch out whenever something related to the comet happened. That was kind of her only purpose. It was like, hey guys, the comet's coming. And Elle can hear the song, so she's gonna play it. I think that's what happened. I don't know, she was so forgettable, I forgot everything she did in the movie. Next up is this Deer Girl. Another D tier. She was in the movie for 5 seconds. I don't know why she's on this. Shit. I just breathed out really hard and then I had to cough. That was fun. But yeah, Fawn is mid. She doesn't do much. Next up is Garrot. Shit. Fuck. D tier. Once again, just doesn't really do much, doesn't get much time to shine at all. But he's okay. I don't know. Madame Ghostier had him down in the basement for like 10 years or something. How long was Rochelle's boyfriend missing before she thought to go to Scaris and look for him? If you're from Scaris, she must have family there, and if they could afford to send her to Monster High, if Monster High is a school that costs money to go to, surely they could have been like, hey, you should come visit us again in Scaris, you know? Why didn't she think to ever go looking for him? They only found him because Claudine also ended up in the basement? I don't know. I always thought that was a weird plot point. Next up is Ghoulia. S tier. I like Ghoulia. Ghoulia is one of those characters who I feel like definitely deserves more screen time in general. Ghoulia never got a movie centered around herself, but she is one of the few members of the main cast who received a Comic-Con exclusive doll. And you know what? Good for her, because Deadfast Ghoulia is one of the greatest San Diego Comic-Con exclusive dolls ever made. Ever made. Like, you know, I'd go as far as to put her in second place, because my personal favorite is Wedona, but that's just me. In short, though, Ghoulia's great. She's so sweet. She's just a little nerd. She likes comics. She wears glasses. She's kind of like an emo nerd with the fishnets. Look, I like Ghoulia, okay? I would gladly try to complete my Ghoulia collection if one of her dolls didn't cost an arm and a leg. You know the one I'm talking about. Next up's Gigi. Another A tier. I like Gigi a lot. She was a sweet character. Gigi wanted to be freed from the lamp, and she got to be freed. And she was lonely in the lamp. So this bitch wished Wisp into existence. And Wisp turned a little evil. I don't remember why Wisp turned evil, but she did. But, yeah, Gigi. Gigi's cool. I like Gigi. Who are you? Wait. Oh my god, I just noticed that. Okay, why was C and D tier swapped? I fixed it now, but Oh my god, I just know a bunch of people in the comments are gonna be like, why are they switched? I fixed it now. Just put them to this timestamp. Gilda never spoke in an episode. So she's one of those characters I feel like I can't have much of an opinion on, which is why I just kind of stuffed her into D tier. So, yeah. I don't even think she has, like, a description giving her a personality. There's just nothing. Just absolutely nothing. Gil's an asshole. I hate Gil. I don't like him at all. Gil is a terrible boyfriend to Laguna. He's only good in Great Scarier Reef. And, like, he doesn't mention his parents in Great Scarier Reef at all. Like, legit, they don't get mentioned at all. Like, I feel like Gil has his moments where he's a decent boyfriend, but he's just one of those dudes who's constantly bending to his parents' will, and, like, that sucks. I know it's probably not his fault, it's probably out of his control, but I don't know, sometimes it just seems like he's not even trying to defend Laguna. It's weird. It's a complicated situation, so if someone gets offended, if there's a Gil defender here, feel free to explain his character, I guess, but I really don't like him. Next up's Goliath. I don't remember much about her. I liked Freak Du Chic, but I don't remember much about her. Next up is Gory. This girl was a bitch. She caused problems on purpose, and good for her. I liked her for that. Next up's Claudine. We're gonna put her in front of Abby. I love Claudine. Claudine's one of my favorite characters. She always made me laugh when I was younger. I loved her sassy personality. She just didn't take shit from anybody, you know? Claudine was the best. And I'm saying was because in this new reboot she looks like, I don't know, but I feel like the original Claudine from G1 would rip her to shreds, the new Claudine. I don't like how they, like, softened her for the new reboot, and they're like, oh, she's not gonna be all, like, edgy anymore, she doesn't have her sassy edge, we're taking that away. Why? Why are you taking that away? It's, like, one of her defining traits. Claudine was always that one friend who was fierce, she didn't back down. She was fierce, and she's not fierce anymore. I don't know, it just bothers me. So yeah, Claudine's one of my favorites. Next up is Cleo. S tier. Being a main character, Cleo had a lot of time in the spotlight, and rightfully so. She's one of the main characters. And I always liked her. Even from the start, when she was a mean girl, I liked her more than the rest of the characters. Maybe it was because she was the prettiest to me at first. Because when I first watched Monster High, like, I watched New Ghoul at school in 2010, Cleo was my favorite immediately. That changed over time. She's not my number one favorite anymore. She's not even in the top 10. But I do still like her, you know? So, S tier. Next up's Draculaura. A tier. Draculaura didn't have much of a personality. I'm sorry to say it, but being boy crazy and liking your boyfriend are not personality traits. I feel like people overhype Draculaura because they like her style and her dolls, and that's fine. I do that too. Some of my favorite characters only got one release, and it was a damn good release, which is why they're in my favorite list. But Draculaura just didn't have much of a personality, so if we're ranking the characters in terms of their character, there's not much there. She's sweet, she's a good friend. And I just feel like there's not enough there for me to justify putting her above A tier, which is still really high. Next up is Frankie, and I like Frankie character-wise a bit more than Draculaura. She has some of the same issues as Draculaura, but I feel like Frankie has actual character flaws to make up for it. For instance, her naivety, because she's literally 15 days old. Frankie doesn't know shit in the original show. This is G1 Frankie, so if I use she, her, that's why. I only refer to, with G3 I use exclusively they, them, because that is G3 Frankie's pronouns. But with this one, I guess I could alternate. Maybe we could headcanon the original G1 Frankie is using she, they. Kind of like that. Yeah. But overall, I like Frankie. They're a cool character, and I think S tier. I thought I put him in A tier. S tier is good enough. Laguna! I don't really like Laguna. She's alright. I don't have much to say. This is, like, entirely based on my opinion, if you can't tell. So, Laguna fans, don't skewer me. I've just never been that big of a fan of her. Next up is Dana. Yet another character who we never got to see any content for. She got a weird doll and that was it. What else did you do? But yeah, that's about it. That's kind of... We just got one doll of Dana in the reboot and that was it. Next up is Ari, another shit tier character. She was clearly just a replacement for both Caddy and Spectra in the sense that she was a ghost with purple hair, and we never saw Spectra in the reboot, and she was just the singer, like Caddy. She had this weird plotline where she pretends to be human, and that was it. I think the girls kidnapped her. I don't know, it was a weird, bad movie. Next up's Monica. Honestly, B tier. She was one of the only good things to come out of the reboot. Like, yes, she did kind of replace Ghoulia, because we didn't get Ghoulia, but we did get Monica. And they're both zombies, so, you know, they gotta be the same person. They gotta be the same character, obviously. But, I kinda liked Monica. I don't know. I like characters who are bitches and cause problems on purpose, and that's exactly what Monica did. I don't know. Point is, Monica's... something. She exists. Next up, Zombie Gaga. C tier. I like her design, but she didn't get a personality because she didn't appear in anything. On the back of her, the box, she's like my age, my love is infinite. No, like my love, my age is infinite. You know what? Neither of those make sense. I don't know. She's okay, though. Next up is Headless, Heady, Headless, C tier. Next up is Heath Burns, A tier. Heath Burns is really funny. Heath was just a goofy dude. I liked him. He was funny, silly, and goofy, and that's what I like out of male characters. If you gotta exist, at least make your existence worthwhile by being funny. Don't be an annoying bitch like River Kendall from Rainbow High. River Kendall is the worst character in Rainbow High. God, I hate River Kendall. But Heath is fun. He's a good boyfriend to Abby, even though we never officially see them get together, but they clearly like each other and it's really cute. Holt Hyde! A tier. I love Holt. Holt is so funny. I don't know, he's just funny with the way he talks. He's like, yeah, Frankie fine! You know, like, that's how he talks, I think. And he exclusively calls Frankie Stein Frankie Fine, and that's hilarious. That's funny. Good for him. Next up is Honey. B tier. I like her. I like Honey. You know, actually, fuck it. A tier. She has my birthday, so I might be a little biased, but I like Honey. I'm also looking at a doll of her right now because I just kind of keep Freak to Chic Honey in my room for some reason. Do I know why she's in here? No, but she's looking at me. Hi, Honey. Yeah, I see you, thank you. I like her. Honey was a lot of fun, so A tier. Next up is Howleen. I don't know. Yeah, A tier. I don't know, S tier just feels too high for Howleen. As much as I liked 13 Wishes, Howleen wasn't the main driving force of anything. I feel like Wisp and Gigi were at the center of the plot. Howleen was a main character, but she was kind of just getting manipulated by Wisp, you know? Next up's Cupid. A tier. Cupid was at her best at Monster High, because the moment they transferred her to Ever After High, her entire character became, oh, Dexter! Say it again, Dexter! Omelette du fromage, you know? Like, that was the entire that's what she became. She just like, became a Dexter fangirl, and she hardly ever did anything. She didn't host a radio show. She didn't help people fall in love. She helped Hopper in one episode. That was it. So, yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, girl, go focus on yourself, but she wasn't focusing on herself at Ever After High. She was focusing on Dexter, and he didn't even like her, so it was just really sad. She has this unrequited crush on a dude who's not interested in her at all. That's sad. That's not fun. Wisp is an S-tier villain. I love her. I love Wisp so much. Wisp was honestly one of my favorite Monster High characters of all time. So, you know when I was talking about characters who, like, I adore? Yeah, that feels right, actually. SS tier Wisp. I love Wisp. She's one of my favorite characters. She's one of those characters that I adore. She's like one of my number one favorites, even though she has like 5 minutes of screen time. I'm biased. I'm incredibly biased. But she was also a good villain. I think she was my favorite out of all the movies, so very high. Next up is Finnegan. C tier. He was great, disabled rep. He was one of the first characters I've ever seen in any media ever who uses a wheelchair. Although I was watching Monster High when I was a kid, so there could have been other characters before him. But I don't know. But overall, his personality just never really captured me. He was a daredevil, that was cool, but I just don't find myself caring that much. Okay, let's be nice. Put him in B tier. He's alright. But, again, I feel like he never really got enough time to shine. It's cool that he got a doll, though. I still have his doll. I don't remember where it is, but I have it. Next up is Hoodooed Voodoo. Another B tier. Hoodooed was funny. He was a lot of fun in Frights Camera Action. I'm glad that they used him in a movie. Even if he wasn't, like, one of the main characters, I'm still glad that he got that screen time because I liked it. It was fun. Next up's Lorna. I don't care. Why the hell is she on here twice? What, am I gonna have to, like, say she's mid twice? Why is she on here twice? What is the point of that? Anyway, now we're on to Manny. A tier. Moo! Remember when I used to use Manny on my channel and I would just go, "Hey guys, it's Manny Tour. Moo!" I can still do the voice pretty well. Listen, my bias is starting to kick in, but I like him, alright? Next up is Midley. He's mid. He's okay. So he's in B tier. I do think it's funny that they never gave him a 3D model for the movies, so they always just had him be invisible. That was really funny. Next up is Iris. Another A tier. Iris is one of my favorites. She's one of those characters that I always really liked. And while her entire character did kind of revolve around falling for Manny and trying to get Manny to notice her and being in a relationship with Manny, I still liked her a lot. She's cool. Iris is underrated. Next up is EC. Probably another A tier. EC was an interesting character. I do feel like she would deserved more screen time, but I liked her in the 2 episodes we saw her in. She also has a really nice design. She's not worth the prices people charge for her online, though. Next up is Jackal. He's the personification of the nerd emoji, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's just kind of pathetic. Remember when they almost killed Holt and also Jackson in Ghouls Rule? That was a movie. Jane Boolittle was mid. Next up is Jennifer, and damn it, into S tier she goes. Jennifer is one of my favorite characters. She was one of my favorite parts of Scaris. I remember watching it with my friend, and I was like, damn, I love her. And then my friend held up her Jennifer doll, and I went, oh! And then she offered to give it to me, and I was like, no, I will find her myself. And I did, on Walmart.com. That's where I got my Jennifer. So. Oh, I like her personality, too. Who? Okay. Kalla's a bitch. Kalla is a horrible person. Kalla is everything wrong with society. Society! Everything is her fault. Everything that has ever gone wrong in history. It's her fault. I don't like Kalla. I don't like this one just because she's ugly. I hate Kelpie, I'm sorry. I don't like Kelpie. Ugly design. Ugly. Next up's Kyomi, and she's another S tier. Kyomi's one of my favorite Monster High characters, one of my favorite dolls, and I loved her in the Haunted movie. She was cute. She was a big fan of Draculaura. She had a crush on Draculaura. Garrot Sander confirmed that she was in love with Draculaura, and she was just fun. I liked also just the concept of the monster type she is. A faceless ghost. That's so cool. I'd never even heard of that until I saw Kyomi. I'm sorry if you hear lawnmowers outside. The lawn guys are just basically here all week. That's what they do every week. Hope they're getting paid well. But yeah. Next up is Kirsty, and she's cute, so I'll give her a B tier. I liked that she was friends with Ghoulia. They were gamer ghouls. They played video game together, and Kirsty got her ass kicked by Ghoulia because Ghoulia is so good at video games. Lorna is mid. Luna is mid. She's B tier. She's probably the highest I'm going to rank any of the characters from that. Okay, let me just go through this real quick and throw all the characters who I don't know into the I don't know you category, because I don't know who any of those people are. So, yeah, just get them out of the way now. I technically don't know who this is either. I know it's Sylvie, but I didn't watch the movie she's in. Hold on, I need some water. Good God, my throat is fucking dry. I'm good now. I'm good. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Luna. Luna's okay. Next up is Marisol. Another B tier. Marisol was cool. She was okay. I liked that she was Abby's cousin, because I really like Abby. So, yeah. Didn't really care for Mercedes. She has a terrible design, by the way. I don't like Mercedes' design. It's not cute. But she was fun in the movie, I guess. I liked her little New York accent, and pretty much all she did was call taxis. She's like, Ghoul, I can get you to this place. I can't do a New York accent. I can't do a New York accent, oh my god. Nephra is an A tier villain. They kind of nerfed her and made her a lot brattier in New York, I noticed. Nephra just felt out of character in New York, but in the episodes that she was in, I loved her. So, A tier. Nathan! B tier. Did you know that Nathan Rott is voiced by the same guy who voices Kaya in Genshin Impact? I learned that last night. Nathan was okay. Operetta! Another B tier. She wasn't bad or anything, but, she existed. I liked her. It'd be an A tier. Operetta was fun. I wish they'd given her something to do in New York, because I feel like that was one of the only movies that she played a major role in. Major enough to get a doll in the movie-themed line, but, like, even then it wasn't a major role, because she didn't do anything. She had, like, 2 lines in the whole movie. I don't even get why they invited her. But yeah. Next up is Porter. B tier. He was okay. Next up is Posey. B tier. She was okay. Next up is the Werecat twins. A tier. The one line they ever got to deliver was absolute perfection. And I love them. My bias is starting to show. Next up is River. A tier. She was fun. She was just a little goofball. Rebecca! SS tier. Rebecca's one of my all-time favorite Monster High characters. She was one of the first characters that ever really captured my interest. alongside Jennifer. Yeah. SS tier is just starting to become my faves list, and as it should, honestly. Next up's Rochelle. An A tier. No, an S tier. I actually really liked Rochelle. She had a good character. I liked her in Scaris. I liked her in Friday Night Frights. She was fun. I liked her. She had a good personality. She had a good... She was good. I liked her. Ooh, we're getting into the good ones. Next up is Scara Screams. She's a solid A tier. Scara is a great character. I liked her a lot. I'm only putting her in A tier because I wish that we could have gotten to see her in a movie. It would have given her more time to shine, but overall I do like the content that we got with her. Next up is Seth. He's an A tier as well. Seth was a good character. Oh my god, my fingers are numb. I've been holding my iPad this whole time. Christ. Oh my god. Wow, it hurts my fingers to move them. Seth is cool. Serena. A tier. I like Serena. Next up is Skeleta. A tier. I like Skeleta. Skeleta is one of my mom's favorite characters, so I own all of Skeleta's dolls. Both out of box and in box, except for Scarnival and her collector doll. But we have all of Skeleta's dolls, so a little biased. I also just really like her design. Skeleta's such a cool character. I also liked her personality. Again, I wish we could have seen more of her because I feel like they underused her in episodes. Maybe because she was hard to draw because she's a skeleton. I don't know. But I just think they should have used her more often. Slo-Mo is in the mid tier because since he never really appeared that often, he didn't get much of a personality. We just know that he and Ghoulia were dating and that's about it, so I can't really put him any higher than this. Next up is Spectra, one of my favorite characters who causes problems on purpose. We're putting her in S tier. Spectra's great. She was funny. I always disliked how when she finally got a movie, Haunted, she was like, oh, I need to rebrand my blog because gossip is bad. I'm gonna call it the Gory Gazette. That sounds awful. Ghostly Gossip was so good. She didn't need to rename her I almost said blog and brand at the same time. She didn't need to rename her brand, you know? But anyway, Haunted was a banger, and you can tell because I have a lot of the characters up high. Next up is Toralei, and hold on. Toralei takes her rightful place. Gotta be honest with y'all, Toralei has always been my number one favorite. I went through a very large Claudine and Abby phase, but Toralei has always been number one. I love Toralei. She's gotta be my number one favorite character, like, from any doll brand ever. I like Roxy from Bratz, I like Chelsea from My Scene, I love Lizzie from Ever After High. Did you notice that all my favorite characters are redheads? Guess what color my girlfriend's hair is? No, because seriously, I didn't realize what kind of fixation I had on redheads until now. My god, my favorite supervillain is Harley Quinn. My god, you show me a woman with red hair and I'm down horrendous. But, Toralei's my number one favorite character. I loved her in every movie she appeared in. She was the only good part of Great Scarier Reef. She had character development in that movie. She came to Laguna's defense. She was like, hey, stop laughing at Laguna. She had the courage to come out here and dance in front of you all. Even though, you know, she never had stage fright to begin with. But you know what? Toralei's a great character. I love her. Toralei is supreme. Next up's Twyla. A tier. Next up is Valentine. S tier. Valentine's one of my all-time favorite Monster High characters. Dude, the power that the Valentine and Wisp 2-pack holds is insane. Putting them in a 2-pack together was a galaxy-brained decision. I can't even. Whoever thought of that deserves a raise. And more. But yeah, in short, I love Valentine, so he's an S tier. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry I play Cookie Run. Next up's Vendala, and I really like her, so I'm gonna put her in S tier, but honestly, her character doesn't have much to it. She's just a fun pirate girl, and sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need in life. A fun pirate girl. Me and my pirate GF. BB, your hand is so cold. That me hook. Next up is Venus. B tier. I don't really care about her. Viperine's an A tier. And finally, we get to Wedona. An S tier. And now let me arrange these in the order of my top favorites. Yeah. That's about right. And with that, we are done. So here is my final tier list. My SS tier, my S tier, my A tier, my B tier, my C tier, my D tier, and my who the hell are you tier. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun to make. I'm sorry it was so long. I can't believe I filmed for 40 minutes straight. I've never done that before. But, yeah. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my unfiltered thoughts, because I basically went crazy during this video towards the end. But, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. If you guys have another idea for a tier list, feel free to suggest it in the comments. And, yeah. Bye!